The TV1 News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TV1 News. I'm Jasmine Irujak.
And I'm Rex Litter. I'll join you later in the bulletin for sports.
In this edition, 9 Mile victims follow up on promises of help, 10 graduate in data analysis with IRC, and players eye vacant spots in Pacific Champs. Member for Laigab Amos Joseph Akim has filed an application to dismiss an election petition case by the former member Tomait Kapili. The petition disputes Akim's election victory in 2023 Laigab by-election.
Petitioner and former member for Laigab Pogra, Tomait Kapili, in petitioning member for Laigab Amos Joseph Akim's victory at the 2023 by-election, is seeking to nullify Akim's declaration on various grounds, including allegations of bribery and undue influence. On Thursday, October 10, 2024, Akim, through his lawyer Randolph Lyons, moved an application before Justice Joseph Yagi at the Waigani National Court, objecting the competency of the petition. He submitted that the petition be dismissed in its entirety for being incompetent on basis that the petition failed to comply with Section 208A of the Organic Law on national and local level government elections, as well as Rule 6 of the Election Petition Rules. Akim's lawyer, Randolph Lyons, submitted that the petition failed to plead material facts which constitute the grounds of bribery and undue influence so as to invalidate the election result. He also submitted that the petitioner did not fully comply with Rule 6 of the Election Petition Rules by failing to pay the required filing fee of 1,000 kina and the appropriate mode of filing. The petitioner, through lawyer Desmond Keeper, opposed the respondent's objection and argued that the petition was competent as it raised serious allegations that should be tried, asking the court to dismiss the objection to competency application. After receiving the arguments, Justice Yagi made orders summoning the Deputy Registrar, Bakabina, to file an affidavit explaining the reason for certifying the filing of the petition fee as 1,000 kina against the official receipt in the sum of 750 kina, as argued by Akim. Outside court, Mr. Akim urged his people of Laigab to remain calm and respect the court process.
Again, I'm appealing to both sides of the supporters to remain calm, always remain calm. During the process of court, outcome of the court, always remain calm. We must bring peace in a volatile district like that. We had enough since 2022 national election to 2023 supplementary election to now, whatever the outcome, the decision, always the people must remain calm, because last time when I win the elections, the supporters of the former MP went and burned down an entire village with schools and killed about 7 people, innocent people. And I don't want such things to happen again. We all have to remain calm.
The matter was adjourned to October 14, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. for further hearing of the objections and for the Deputy Registrar of the National Court to clarify the court on the filing of the petition fee. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
Relatives and settlers of the 9 Mile Dedua block where an illegal eviction took place last month, resulting in death of 2 people, are now calling on concerned authorities, including members of parliament, to help repatriate the bodies of the deceased. The settlers made this call Thursday following weeks of waiting for help to come by.
3 weeks have passed since an attempt was made to evict the settlers of Dedua Block 9 Mile where an adult male and a 14-year-old grade 5 student were killed. The relatives of the deceased and the settlers have now called for help to assist in their repatriation efforts.
Please, me ask him. All government, member now. Please, me must repatriate him all this body now. You know not me sit down now, holding body yourself and by bugger up now. So me ask him, please, all member, Kawana, you must come down and look somewhere now.
In recounting the events of September 19 that left many families homeless, more than 15 injured and 2 dead, Jerry reminded the leaders of Mosby Northeast of the promises they made on the day.
Member of Mosby Northeast, John Copper. John Copper, you've been come the first time you come, now you go. Now you talk, you back come back. You've been called, I talk 30 minutes time, you back come up there. 30 to 40 minutes. You kiss him respect, nothing, peace, no something, sugar, coffee, you can give him. People know you in Chalo. Must be noticed. Facebook, capital city. So people welcome to passing out.
Unfortunately, those promises were never fulfilled. He is now asking the member to look into their plight. He further extended the call for help to the governor of Morobe, Luther Wenge, and all district members of the province. He said Morobians living at 9 Mile in what is now called the Morobe block are sons and daughters of Morobians who helped build the city through little handyman roles like carpenters, bricklayers, tea boys and girls, housemaids and babysitters, and called for assistance from their own leaders.
Morobe governor, please, people step inside law. Morobe community now, inside law capital city, people carry base na name Morobe, people send down lawyer. Na people can build him city, people give him support of this country. Na this bagara be me come up to people. And 3 weeks now. Na noga twabla look sawe to member. Na government look come down lawyer, na look sawe lo people.
Meanwhile, the deceased male adult is son of a former corrections officer. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
According to the Borgen Project, research shows that Papua New Guinea has more than 700,000 cases of mental illness, which range from anxiety disorders to eating disorders. The question now is whether the government and employers are taking mental health for employees and the citizens seriously. The World Mental Health Day theme for this year is "It's time to prioritize mental health in the workplace." According to the World Health Organization, this theme emphasizes the need to address mental health and well-being in the workplace, benefiting not only individuals but organizations and communities as a whole. Psychology strand leader from the University of Papua New Guinea, Michael Essop, emphasized that mental illness in the workforce comes from workload, unfavorable employer wage and income, and unfavorable conditions, among other factors.
My concern is that when people are working under those kind of extreme or adverse working conditions or unfavorable working conditions, the general working conditions as well as the income levels are not that favorable, not good enough, that will affect their mental health. Okay? Because it will affect the emotion, it will affect the social relationship, it will affect the psychological well-being, and all together, putting together in aggregate, it will affect their mental health.
The Directorate for Social Change and Mental Health Services, in a statement, reiterated that employers in the country are encouraged to provide conducive work environment, flexible working hours, access to mental health resources, and create a culture of support and care. According to
supportive work environments improve mental health, boost productivity, and reduce stigma. Employers are encouraged to provide accommodations, flexible work hours, and access to mental health resources. Training for managers to recognize and address mental health concerns can also create culture of support and care. Globally, there's an urgent need to make workplaces healthier and more inclusive, especially as many jobs have shifted to home environments post-pandemic.
To the Borgen project, PNG has more than 700,000 cases of mental illness and stressed on the lack of government effort to address this. It showed that the availability of such services in PNG, alongside other essential support systems, remained limited, and noted that PNG's new National Health Plan 2021 to 2030 does not mention mental health. Research by the Borgen project indicates that development of small psychiatry units within provincial hospitals is almost non-existent. It shows in the research that although there might be an increase in mental health nurses, most of the program graduates veer towards broader medical fields, forsaking mental health facilities and psychiatric institutions to wrestle with staff shortages. Students from the psychology strand at the University of Papua New Guinea for the first time engaged with the Directorate for Social Change and Mental Health Services and other mental health facilities. The psychology strand hopes of a better path for job opportunities in the mental health sector.
Unfortunately, we don't always have the pathways for our students, graduates, to find a meaningful engagement or employment. And I believe a partnership with the Mental Health Directorate and others is a way forward for us. So we don't have to, isolate ourselves. Whatever we are doing, whether we are in the training sector, whether in the practice, we all are stakeholders. We are part and parcel of the same thing. It's just a matter of us coming together and advocate.
Stay tuned for more of what's making headlines today.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Hiya, Mama.
You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magical cuddle, get up and big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Open it.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bungim Yumi.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi Trupla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Welcome back. 10 young, intelligent Papua New Guineans today graduated from the Internal Revenue Commission's Data Analytics Graduate Development Program. The IRC celebrated the achievements of the graduates who, with degrees from various fields of study and from tertiary institutions across the country has successfully undergone a full year of training and mentoring by tax experts of the Tax Commission.
10 young women and men today received certificates qualifying them from the Data Analytics Graduate Development Program of the Internal Revenue Commission. Commissioner of Taxation Sam Loy, in delivering the keynote address, told the graduates that IRC aspires for graduates to excel in data modeling, querying data modeling, basic database design, and workflow tools and visualization.
So graduates, as you embark on this new journey, remember that you are the pioneers who will lead us into the future where data informs every decision, ensuring transparency, efficiency, and fairness in our tax system. Approach your work with the same wisdom and dedication as Tane, and continue to uncover the hidden springs of knowledge that will transform our administration.
Graduate representatives of the cohort of 10, Nigel Mosiri and Letitia Garritz, shared the highlights of their year-long mentorship and expressed gratitude for the opportunities for learning, career advancement, and contributing to nation development through their work.
I want to say thank you to everyone who has been part of us and helped us come this far. And with the way things are going and the changes that are happening within IRC, I can say on behalf of me and my colleagues, we are privileged and honored to be part of this.
So on behalf of the graduates, thank you once again to everyone who has been a part of our graduate journey. We look forward to working with everyone here and with those whom we are yet to come across. We are keen to contribute meaningfully towards IRC as we strive to build a modern, robust, and efficient tax administration for the greater prosperity of Papua New Guinea.
Commending the graduates on their achievements were mentors Tyson Fawcett and Blaise Savinio.
Beyond your tangible achievements, you've grown as individuals since I first met you all back in September 2023. You've learned to think critically, to question, to seek out new perspectives in the way that we do things using data and analytics. You've developed resilience. You're learning to bounce back from challenges and to keep moving forward. You have formed lifelong friendships and built a network of support that will carry you through to the next stages of your career and within life.
In August 2023, the IRC embarked on an innovative journey that envisioned a future where data and analytics are the driving forces behind every aspect of the organization's operations. This data management strategy marked a pivotal moment in the public sector's pursuit of digital transformation, thus setting the pathway for the programs such as the Graduate Development Program of Data Analytics. Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
Today, the BSP Double branch in Mount Hagen was officially opened, further strengthening banking services in the Western Highlands region. The opening event featured remarks from key speakers who highlighted the significance of the branch for the local community and the region's economic growth.
BSP Double branch here in Mount Hagen was opened today, Friday the 11th of October 2024. The branch has been operating for over a year now, serving hundreds of customers daily and playing a key role in the community that it serves and expanding the digital banking services across the Highlands region. Now, the opening marked a major milestone for the community with senior BSP management commissioning cash agents to further strengthen the services and reduce the wait times. Earlier this week, the branch completed a series of community projects, including the handover of a solar installation kit at the Kagamuga Urban Clinic and also at the Mount Hagen United Primary School with a solar kit installation as well, and the presentation of 3 computers that will immensely help the school in its systems to prepare for lessons and everything else. Here at the Dobell Mount Hagen branch, we had key speakers present here, like the likes of Minister for State-Owned Enterprises William Duma and BSP Group Chairman Robert Bradshaw, Group CEO of BSP Mark Robinson, and many others. Patrick Duckworth, Managing Director of Teninga Dobell, expressed pride in the partnership with BSP and underscored Mount Hagen's strategic importance as a service hub for the Highlands region. He emphasized the vital role of local leadership in driving development and highlighted Teninga's commitment to the city and the province's progress.
We're proud to be a part of your latest branch development and the essential high-caliber services it brings to not only the people of Dobell, but also the wider communities of Jiwaka and the Western Highlands and further provinces west, who we're already seeing are embracing the service that they're getting from the new branch here at Dobell.
Chris Daniels, Managing Director of Steamships, acknowledged the milestone of the Dobell project, noting its timely completion in November 2023 and the positive impact the new branch will have on fostering economic growth in Mount Hagen. He shared about the upcoming development phases, including a retail shopping mall set to begin construction in 2025.
Together, we aim to foster an environment conducive to economic growth, job creation, and particularly development for the local community. To accompany the BSP branch, our Dobell project envisages the development of a new state-of-the-art 10,000 square metre mixed-use retail commercial shopping mall. The first phase of the mall is on track to open in the first quarter 2026, including Teninga's new supermarket, and stage 1 of the retail space in the mall.
George Awap, Assistant Governor of the Financial System Stability Group at the Bank of PNG, congratulated BSP on its continued commitment to the region. He emphasized the branch's role in promoting financial inclusion and economic growth, particularly in providing access to banking services for those in rural and undeserved areas of the Western Highlands and beyond. This event has been a significant one for both BSP and the local community that the bank serves and operates in. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 Mount Hagen.
And now the finance news. The Kina closed unchanged at $0.2545 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our Kina was buying $0.2470 US, $0.3633 Australian dollars, 0.2183 euro, and 36.37 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa, and crude oil closed higher, copper closed lower, and copra and palm oil closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. This is TV1 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Buying PNG made.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Harem talk, young or old, a scale rice family meal with talk. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's a favorite by miles. Senisigola scale rice low scale price. Senisigola scale rice low scale price. But you like him?
In its first 10 years, the PNG LNG project has had a long-lasting impact, contributing more than 26 billion kina to the state of Papua New Guinea. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levy and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Oh, maybe not.
Bing bang bing. Bum, bum.
Thanks for staying with us. In regional news, Timor-Leste president has criticized Australia's PALM scheme, accusing employers of exploiting workers with excessive costs of accommodation and transport. He warned that unscrupulous employers are exploiting workers from his country by overcharging them from accommodation and transport. President Ramos Horta made the critique during a wide-ranging speech at the National Press Club. The Australian federal government has brought thousands of workers from the Pacific to Australia to work in sectors gripped by labor shortages, yielding an invaluable source of income to Pacific families and governments. But unions and advocacy groups have long complained that the PALM scheme has been open to exploitation, while last month the ABC 730 exposed how a growing number of PALM workers have been left destitute and homeless after absconding from their workplaces. Australia's workplace minister has flagged he could make further changes to the flagship Pacific Workers program to crack down on employers doing the wrong thing. Murray Watts says that there have been far too many instances of exploitation in the PALM scheme.
The PALM scheme is really important. It's really important not just for farmers, which rely on Pacific workers to fill labour gaps, as well as increasingly other industries as well, but it's also important to the Pacific because it's a really critical source of income for Pacific Island countries and also for families, which often rely on remittances from schemes like PALM in order to keep afloat. Now, this essentially brings some 30,000 workers to Australia every year to do work that needs to be done in sectors that might otherwise struggle to get workers. And there's no doubt that there have been, over the years, quite a few critics of the way that some employers, not all by any stretch of the imagination, but the way that some employers have abused and exploited workers who take part in it. We've seen instances, for example, just this week of the president of Timor-Leste complaining that too many workers were being essentially soaked. They were being forced to pay too much money for things like accommodation and for transport. And his argument is that that money should be paid directly to those workers instead. And you've also had the unions, in particular the ACTU, mounting a really forceful argument that too often bosses are too quick to look for loopholes in the scheme, to exploit workers, handing them not enough work to get by, charging them too much for accommodation and transport. Now, interestingly, Murray Watt, the Minister for Workplace Relations, was asked about some of this recent criticism this morning, and he was pretty blunt in his responses. He said there had been too many instances of abuse and also said that the government was looking at potentially taking further actions to change the settings in the scheme to make sure it was harder for employers to do the wrong thing. Let's take a listen to Murray Watt speaking earlier today.
Now, we have seen, unfortunately, far too many abuses of the PALM scheme, and it's important for Australia and our reputation that when people come to work in Australia, they don't get exploited and they get treated fairly. Unfortunately, I'm aware of some examples of that not happening in this very region across Bundaberg, and we've seen the Fair Work Ombudsman take action against particular employers and particular labour hire firms who've done the wrong thing, and that's exactly the way it should be. We actually have made changes to the PALM scheme since coming to office a couple of years ago to try to reduce the exploitation that we've seen. We brought in, for example, minimum amounts of pay that need to be paid to people to make sure that they do have money in their pockets. We've made changes around the housing requirements, but what I can say is that wherever there is exploitation going on of palm workers or local workers, as a Labor government, we will continue to take action and we're open to further changes.
The Foreign Minister Penny Wong is again urging Australians to leave Lebanon, saying there will be no more repatriation flights after this weekend.
Flight scheduled for Sunday, that's October 13th. There are no further flights scheduled beyond that. So I'd say to Australians, there is a flight scheduled on October 13. There are no further flights scheduled, and any further flights would obviously, as I said, flights are not going to be scheduled indefinitely and are subject to operational and security constraints. You should leave now if you wish to leave.
Sexist trolls have targeted Commander Yvonne Gray, whose ship, the HMNZS Manawanui, sank off Samoa's coast over the weekend. A court of inquiry has been ordered by the New Zealand government to investigate the sinking, with its findings to be made public. New Zealand's Defence Minister has publicly criticised the online trolling of the female captain, saying while the cause of the incident was unknown, it had nothing to do with the captain's gender. The HMNZS Manawanui, the NZ Navy Specialist Dive and Hydrographic Vessel, sank in Samoan waters on Sunday morning after it lost power and hit a reef during surveying work in rough seas. It was New Zealand's first naval loss since World War II. All 75 crew made it to shore safely. When a historic flood threatened northern Victoria 2 years ago, some residents spent 3 weeks building their own flood levee. Now one local has become the first to source and use new technology, typically used by governments and military as a flood barrier.
Water that was in our outer lounge, and I'm keeping the cupboard because I want to be reminded that this is how deep it was.
When floodwater rose into Rumbury on the Victoria-New South Wales border in October 2022, Tuesday Brow found herself stranded for 3 months.
It's nearly 2 years and we're still cleaning up. We're still finding things that have floated in and floated out.
But a big problem requires a big solution, and Ms Brow has gone to extreme lengths to protect her home. She's built a high-tech barrier that's used by militaries all around the world. The lightweight barrier system consists of cells made of a highly durable geotextile fabric. The company that supplies it says it's easier to assemble than it is to fill thousands of sandbags, and it thinks this is the first time a resident has imported it.
I'm the first private person that has bought them. Normally they're sold via government to government departments.
Helen Williams remembers the huge community effort that went into building Turumbury's flood levee 2 years ago. More than 100 residents worked tirelessly over 3 weeks with a dozen excavators, a dozen trucks and a lot of very skilled locals.
As a community, we knew that the cavalry wouldn't be coming for us because they hadn't for the last 50 years.
Here in Turumbury, residents are used to taking measures into their own hands. They're now calling on all levels of government to listen to them and come up with better ways to protect their communities.
Give us some surety that in the future that there's a particular flood level in Echuca, which is about 2 days of water away from us. When it hits that level, that they action things that we need put in place.
A community that says it's being forced to look after itself.
North Korea said it will permanently block its border with South Korea and boost its frontline defense posture to cope with confrontational hysteria by South Korean and U.S. forces. North Korea's military said it will completely cut off roads and railways linked to South Korea and fortify the relevant areas of our side with strong defense structures. While the move was likely a pressure tactic, it's unclear how they will affect ties with South Korea since cross-border travel and exchanges have been halted for many years. The North's military called its steps a self-defensive measure for inhibiting war and defending the security of North Korea. It said that the hostile forces are getting ever more reckless in their confrontational hysteria. It cited what it called various war exercises in South Korea, the deployment of used strategic assets, and its rivals' harsh rhetoric. And that ends the news segment. Sports is next. Stay tuned.
Hey, Tuli.
Hi, Tuli. What's up?
Have you guys seen it? Bro, it's awesome, man. Really? Wow.
In its first 10 years, the PNG LNG project has had a long-lasting impact, contributing more than 26 billion kina to the state of Papua New Guinea. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levy and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Discover your home away from home at the Sidla Bay Hotel in Lorengau, Manus Province. Whether business or leisure, our modern amenities, delicious local cuisine, and serene surroundings will make you feel right at home. Book your stay now. Call 7496-3232 or email reservations@sidlabayhotel.com.pg. Sidla Bay Hotel, where your Manus adventure begins.
More than the life we've known, there is more to what the future holds. You me holy man, no walk one time. Oh, 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 oh. We dare to believe in incredible things. Oh, 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 oh. With money plus we're ready to go.
Welcome back. The 2024 PMOS hockey season concluded successfully with the grand final on Sunday at the Blue Water Pitch Pavilion at the Sejong Gai Stadium. With the hockey making a comeback after the pandemic, there were surely some fast and entertaining hockey displayed across the day by the top women and men teams in both A and B grade divisions vying for the top honors. Interestingly, the women and men B-grade finals ended up in draws after regulation time and had to be decided on penalty shootout.
When summing up the 2024 hockey season after last Sunday's grand final, President of the PMOS Hockey, Kawetan Poliap, said the overall event was challenging, especially with trying to revive the association after the pandemic. As expected, the objective was to endure 2 rounds of competition that ended with some high-class hockey in both men and women finals. The president said in the women's A-grade fixture between 6 times defending Queens Wanderers and worthy challenger Sunam, Wanderers displayed their class-dominating field and possession to send Sunam back to the drawing board with a dominant 3-0 victory to claim their 7th premiership title.
The day concluded in the evening with the men's blockbuster between Young Guns Blades and Foundation Club Sunam. First half was goalless, with the battle concentrated in the midfields. In the second half, Blades took the lead 1 goal up and firmly in control until the last 10 minutes, when the resilient Sunam outfit eventually wrestled the momentum back, scoring 2 goals in quick sequence to seal the victory over Blades 2-1 and taking out the cup. Poliap also said they are now looking forward to a number of international events coming up at the end of the year for both the seniors and the youths, which would be officially confirmed and announced in due course. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
With PNG, Solomon Islands, Fiji and New Caledonia in Group A, New Caledonia and Fiji kicked off their campaign on a good note, recording wins over PNG and Solomon Islands in Match 1 and 2 qualifiers held in Fiji yesterday. For the first time in FIFA World Cup history, the Oceania region has 1 guaranteed qualification spot available, with an additional place in the FIFA Intercontinental Playoff also up for grabs. With the prospect of representing the nation on the big stage slowly coming into view, better performance is key. In yesterday's matches, Fiji and New Caledonia started their FIFA World Cup 26 Oceania qualifiers campaign well, with victories over PNG and Solomon Islands. In the first game, New Caledonia opened the match with much hyped and clear direction for a win, fielding in a strong side. As the first half wore on, they were presented the perfect chance to take the lead with more opportunities into the game, beating PNG 3-1. PNG's only goal was from overseas-based Tommy Semi. New Caledonia, despite the lack of training and withdrawing from the OFC Nations Cup in June, regrouped for good performance. In the second match, hosts Fiji narrowly overcame Solomon Islands 1-0, despite spending the majority of the 90 minutes with only 10 men. It was the Solomon Islands who started on a brighter side of the two, pinning the host back in their half but struggling to create any chance for a goal. Much like Fiji this week, Papua New Guinea will be enjoying a home advantage when qualifying continues in Port Moresby in November. PNG coach Vera Arango said the qualifier is a new starting point for PNG, and the team needs to be strong, be humble, and the fans need to understand that there is a process. It's not just one game. It took them 14 years to appear in the A-grade grand final in the Port Moresby Rugby League competition, but the Koro Storm couldn't nail it when it mattered the most. They suffered defeat in the hands of Royals. Koro Storm coach Gary Mana said they have drawn experience from the grand final defeat. Despite leading on the scoreboard in most part of the game, Koro Storm was unable to hold on to their lead as Junior Yambe's men dominated field position in the crucial part of the game and surged home in the close finish 16 points to 14. After the heartbreaking finish at the Santos National Football Stadium on Sunday 6th October, Koro Storm rookie coach Gary Mana admitted that the defeat was hard to swallow. They worked hard throughout the season to be in the grand final. Regardless of the result, Gary remains committed to the playing group and what the grand final appearance means to the new lot of players donning the proud Koro Storm jersey in the first grand final appearance in 14 years. In the post-match interview, Mana said making the grand final is a commendable achievement, but the coach conceded that it would have been a fitting end to their campaign had they won. Mana also revealed it was his first time to bring a rugby league side to the grand final. He said they all have drawn experience from this defeat and will come back next year to compete again. Meantime, Royals head coach Junior Yambe said Koro Storm built a strong team with promising young players. Yambe is expecting management to be in grand final again in 2025. The 5th edition of EGMCIC Nines has confirmed 16 teams for the annual competition scheduled for October 25th and 26th. All 16 affiliated teams have been drawn into 4 pools, consisting 4 teams. Participating teams are travelling in from West New Britain, Morobe, Western, the nation's capital and Highlands region. The 2023 EGMCIC Nines champions, Saubolo Brothers from Port Moresby, are in Pool B, with Kwarimbe Api, Tarangau Rugby League Club and East Taraka Spiders. Cup runners-up West Taraka Brothers are in Pool A. The competition is once again expected to attract to the pitch potential players as well as number of players in the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup. With only a week to go before Pacific Championship kicks off, on the October 18th, sports are still up for grabs in both PNG Kumuls and PNG Prime Minister's 13 men and women teams, which will be finalized after this Sunday's PMS 13 clash at the Santos National Football Stadium. Incoming Kumuls coach and Orchids coaches, Jason Dimitrio and Tani Norris, are excited for the new prospects that will be showcased this weekend against their Australian opponents.
Following the announcement of the teams, both Jason Dimitrio and Tani Norris said they are looking forward to seeing the players come together and work hard through the week. Dimitrio added the PM's match is an important game that will help set them up for the Pacific Championships tournament. Coach Dimitrio is excited for the young talents with this PM's 13 side that is set to unleash a good number of debutants from the Hunters, including young Hella Wigman forward Murray Connors, who's the only player picked from the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup.
The talent, it's not hard to get it together, and even just as soon as I talk to them, and I'm talking to them as an NRL coach, and it's easy. They handle it well and understand what we need to do, but the most important thing when we come together here is we're all one. We all represent the Kumul, and there's no NRL, there's no Queensland, there's no Dem Cup. It's all Kumuls here.
From an NRL coach's perspective, Dimitrio has been amazed by their level of understanding and knowledge of the game and how they are responding and executing what is required of them at training. He said if they can get the pathways right, the opportunities are endless in PNG, considering the amount of abundant talent around.
I don't think it's a massive challenge, to be honest. I'm in awe of what the PNG players do, and having guys like Murray come straight out of the Dem Cup and walk in and look like he's been doing it for 10 years. I was saying to the coaches today that you're getting players that are coming out of the Dem Cup, haven't started playing rugby league till they're 17, 18 years old, and within 2 years playing at state level. There's players in Australia that play from 6 years old and never play at state level.
The Kumuls coach said he's up against his own countrymen, but he's got a job to do regardless, adding it's an honour to represent PNG against Brad Fittler's Australian side.
Yeah, it's going to be an honour to represent PNG against Australia, but the honour stops once the ball's kicked and we get into playing some footy.
The games will kick off at 9 a.m. with the PNG Junior Orchids versus Australian Schoolgirls, 11 a.m. PNG Junior Kumuls versus Australian Schoolboys, 1 p.m. PM's 13 Women PNG versus Australia, and 3 p.m. PM's 13 Men PNG versus Australia. All the games to be televised on TV1, with the men's game to be shown in Australia on Channel 9 and Fox. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Castleford Tigers wreck in the Super League, and PNG Prime Minister's 13 co-captain Liam Horn is relishing another opportunity to represent his country of birth with pride. After playing out his second season with Castleford Tigers in the UK, the young central lad is now back in the country as part of the PNG Prime Minister's 13 squad ahead of the annual clash against Australian Prime Minister's 13 side this Sunday.
Liam Horn and Antis number 9, Judah Rimbo, have been given the honour by Kumuls coach Jason Dimitrio as co-captains. During the Kumul's visit to the digital head office this week, Liam was lost for words in expressing how grateful he is for the new role, saying it's always a massive honor and privilege to represent his country. This is also Liam's first time to captain the PNG PM's 13th side after he made his international debut for the Kumuls at the Pacific Cup in Townsville in 2022. He was also part of last year's inaugural Pacific Championships that took out the ball after beating Fiji in the grand final. Liam, who's on Vula in Central and Australia, said he's always been proud to represent his mom's family and the country.
Oh, this is my first PMS game. I haven't played one yet, so it's good to play for a lot of boys that I haven't played with in the past. And young Jude over the years, when he was a young fella, I used to message you on Instagram, and to see how far he's come from back at the Hunters to getting the Player of the Year and to be a captain now, and it's a privilege to be his vice. Yeah, my mum's a very proud Papua New Guinean woman from Central in Hula, and she's always talked about her growing up in Papua New Guinea, and she always reminded me, even though my skin colour might be white, that I'm still a Papua New Guinean boy. So yeah, she's always reminded me of that, and coming back here, it always feels like home, and the family always get around me, and they come to the airport and welcome me, so it's been really good.
Since joining the Kumul's extended squad in camp early this week, Liam feels very much at home, having played with some of the boys both at the club and representative levels. He's also enjoying the coaching experience of former South Sydney Rabbitohs Jason Demetrio, especially the fresh energy he brings into camp, and can't wait to run out on Sunday in front of an expected bumper crowd.
Nah, he's awesome, mate. He's a real professional, mate, and he's an even better dude, so yeah.
On his Super League contract with Castleford Tigers, Liam said though they fell short this year, he's really enjoyed a decent 2022 season, playing alongside and against other fellow Papua New Guineans in the likes of Sylvester Namo, Nixon Put, Nene McDonald, Edwin Ipape, and Lachlan Lamb.
Coming from Queensland Cup to going over to Super League, I had a few other PNG boys there, Sly Namo and Nixon Put. So, the Kumuls, gave us that opportunity to go over to Super League. So, we're always grateful for that. But hopefully we can have a better year next year. And I think there's a new signing that they're going to announce soon. He's in the PNG Kumul team, but I won't give it away yet. So.
Liam is keen to put in a solid performance in the PM's 13th Clash to maintain his spot in the Kumul's extended squad for the upcoming Pacific Championships, which kicks off next week, October 18. Darren Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Some notable names were missing from the Fiji Bati 2024 Pacific Championship squad that was announced due to suspension, injuries and personal commitments. This was revealed by head coach Waise Kativeraka, who says these players will be considered for future assignments.
Regan Campbell-Gillard is tied up with a personal commitment after signing for the Gold Coast Titans from the Parramatta Eels. Daniel Saifiti has also sealed a new deal with the Dolphins and will have to move with his family from Newcastle while his twin brother Jacob is injured. There are some notable names missing from the Fiji Bali 2024 Pacific Championship squad. Also missing out is West Tigers hooker Episai Koro Storm due to a 3-match suspension, which means if he was named, he would have missed out on all the Bati Pacific Championship games. The national coach Waise Kativerata says St. George Illawarra Dragons winger Mikaele Ravalava will be tied up with his brother's wedding next week. Kativerata says Tigers fullback Jerim Bula is another player that's unavailable this time around. The Fiji coach revealed Bula is getting married on the 19th of October but still injured from the season, while others are either recovering from injuries or have other family commitment. Next Saturday, 3 games will be played at the HFC Bank Stadium in Suva, starting with a match between the 2023 Waterfall Cup champions, Saru Dragons, and the winner of the same competition from Papua New Guinea. Samoa and Tonga's women's teams will then play in the next match before the Batis face the Kumuls to wrap up round 1 of the Pacific Championships. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that's it for sports. Jasmine with weather report.
Southern, scattered showers and thunderstorms with heavy rain drizzles areas over Milne Bay, Oro and Western. Port Moresby becoming cloudy with rain showers, drizzles and thunderstorms, then fine morning. Momase, isolated showers and thunderstorms becoming scattered with areas of rain by morning. Lay, rain periods with possible thunderstorm, then cloudy. New Guinea Islands, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of rain and isolated over Manus. Kokopo and Rabaul becoming cloudy with morning rain showers, drizzles and possible thunderstorms. Highlands, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of rain, then scattered morning fog. Gurkha, Bans and Kundiawa, rain showers and thunderstorm, then morning fog. Ocean forecast. Coral Sea, seas rough to very rough with east to southeast winds of 25 to 33 knots, reaching 47 knots. Solomon Sea, seas slight to moderate with northeast to southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots, with gusts. Bismarck Sea, seas light with east to southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Pacific Ocean, seas smooth to slight with northeast to southeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. Coastal waters forecast. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Islands to Kerama to Yule Island to Hood Point to Samarai Islands. Seas 1 to 2 meters rising to 3 meters at times along warning areas. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel and all Milne Bay Islands, seas 1 to 2 meters. Waters of Cape Vogel to Huon Gulf to Fincherfen. Waters of Fincherfen through Vitia Strait to Siasi Long Islands to Manam Karkar Islands. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, and waters of West New Britain, sea 0.5 to 1.5 meters. And that ends TV1 News. Have a safe weekend. Bye now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.